Welcome to the second part of the Landuse CDE. In my last video, I covered everything about the contest except for parent material and drainage. First, on the card, we have weathered bedrock. Weathered bedrock has one or more of the following characteristics. More than 80% of the material in that diagnosis zone is so hard that roots will not grow into it, and it qualifies as a bedrock limiting layer. Less than 80% of the material is hard, but sedimentary rock fragments are mainly angular, flat, or both. The parent material does not meet the definition of any other material. Weathered bedrock is something I have not seen a lot. I did see at my section contest, however, and that was the first time I had ever seen it. The next parent material is till. Till is one of the more common parent materials. Till is going to have very sharp, jagged rocks, and the rocks will be found randomly in the soil. Till is going to most likely have medium and modelly clay textures. Next, we have outwash and recrusting deposits. This parent material is going to have rounded rocks, so you'll find them in layers. Also, this parent material is going to be in the sandier texture group. Fourth, we have Eolian Sand. So obviously, we're going to find this in sandy or mildly sandy texture. There will be no rocks or pebbles present in the soil. This soil will have little to no stratification. Stratification means layers. The next parent material is Loess. This parent material is going to be one of the more common materials. Loess will have no rocks or pebbles present in the soil. It will not be stratified and you will never be dense. You're going to find medium, modelly clay, and or clay textures in this soil. Next, we have alluvium. Alluvium will always be found in floodplains. Alluvium could also have one of these characteristics. Layers of darker and lighter material, calcareous above 20 inches, and weak soil development is marked yes on the side card. Both of the last two characteristics will be found on the side card. Lastly, we have local overwash. Local overwash is going to have a very thick layer that will be at least 20 inches. There is a darker layer under the parent material. Soils in and above the parent material have weak soil development. And lastly, the parent material is not in a floodplain. That was a lot of information, so if you need to go back and rewatch it, I won't blame you. The next topic is drainage. Drainage can be a bit confusing, but this card that you see on the screen here is going to help us out on deciding what kind of drainage we have. The first thing I do when I judge drainage is to look to see if our topsoil is at least 10 inches of black. If it is, then we will move to the left side of the card. Now, we want to add 6 inches to wherever the black ends. For example, if the topsoil was black and stopped at 14 inches, I would then add 6 inches and go to 20 inches. Then I will look to see if in that 6 inches, if the soil is 50% gray or greater. If the soil is, then it is poorly drained. If it isn't, then I will look to see if it's 2 to 50%. 2 to 50% gray is pretty much if you see any gray at all. So, if you have 2 to 50%, then you will have a somewhat poorly drained. But if you do not see any gray in the 6 inches, then you will try and find gray at above 30 inches. If you find some, then it is moderately well. If not, then it is well drained. Now, back to the beginning of the card. If you do not have at least 10 inches of black, then you're going to look at 10 to 18 inches. In those 8 inches, if it is 50% gray or more, then you have a poorly drained soil. If not, then you look at those 8 inches again and see if you have 2 to 50%. If you have that, then you have a somewhat poorly drained. If you don't have them, like before, you're going to look at 30 inches and above. If there is gray above 30 inches, then you have a moderately well-drained soil. If there is no gray present at all, then you have a well-drained soil. You have officially learned everything there is to know about the Landuse competition. I hope that I taught you well enough that you are more prepared for your next competition. With that said, let me know what contest I should do down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.